It is overtime here again at Old Favorite Friday, talking about incredible classic beers. And we have for you guys this week a beer from Unibrew, a brewery that I absolutely adore, in the Blanche de Chambly. This is their white ale, their wit beer. And listen, Unibrew is fantastic. We've only featured a handful of Unibrew beers here on Old Favorite Friday, and one of the reasons for that is we have limited access to some of their beers. There's not a lot available down here in South Florida, unfortunately, at least at this time. But this is another one of those breweries, and it's almost like a broken record because so many of the breweries here on featured on Old Favorite Friday, they make one great beer. No, they make dozens of great beers. The fact that they make one that is just like so spectacular and well traveled and available all over the place kind of shows how good they are at making beer. So you know that if you go in there and you love their IPA, you're probably going to like their white ale. If you like their white ale, you know they're probably going to make a good stout if they make one, because great brewers know how to make great beer and not just one style of great beer. But getting into this brewery, or this beer, I should say, in general, we make a white ale, the Wizard White Ale. It is the flagship beer of Barrel of Monks. It still is the beer we produce the most of on a regular basis here at Barrel of Monks, almost 10 years in. So I love white ales. I've brewed them, I've drank them, I've sold them, I've done everything with the white ale as a flagship beer for my brewery. So I have a soft spot in my heart for beers like this, beers like Allagash, which are North American examples of a classic Belgian style. And this being one of the best North American breweries, one of the most storied North American breweries, paired with one of the greatest, most quintessential Belgian style beers, is just a marriage made in heaven. Unibrew is a Belgian-inspired brewery, and we've done stuff like their triple La Fin du Monde here in the past, and I believe we also did their double. But anyway, this beer here is fantastic because it does remind me of a traditional Belgian white ale. A lot of American versions of these beers, once again, broken record if you watch these all the time. Belgian beers, what do American breweries or North American breweries always do? They make them overly sweet, overly cloying, and one-dimensional. And the best breweries know what to do with Belgian ale yeast. They know how to ferment properly. They know how to build their recipe to get complexity out of the beer and complexity out of the yeast strain without making it that one-dimensional, banana and clove or bubblegum note that a lot of people are going to get from certain Belgian ale strains of yeast. This beer is really, really drinkable. It's clean and refreshing. It has a little hint of sweetness balanced out by the right amount of like zippy tang that comes from the wheat malt, and also the orange peel that they're going to use in this beer. So you get that perfect balance of having a little bit of satisfaction of some sweet fruit flavor without going over the top of it and with balancing it out properly. Really, really nice dry finish. In addition to the orange and coriander, which is present in a Belgian white ale and is present in this beer, you're also getting some other layered fruit flavors. There's a little bit of banana in here. There's some spice box, some clove that probably comes from the yeast strain. You're also getting some floral notes, which I really, really like. There's almost like a hint of like a black tea or a tea characteristic that I'm picking up as well. There's just so much going on in a glass like this, and it leads itself into being so good to pair with different kinds of cuisine and really across the spectrum. I mean, you can go, they recommend, if you go to their website, there's a lot of information. I love breweries that do this, by the way, that on their website give food and beer pairings. They talk about white fish, and they talk about goat cheeses and salads and things of that nature. But honestly, I mean, I can see this going really, really well with a coconut curry. I can see this going really, really well with like a Thai or Asian-inspired dishes that are very ginger forward. I think ginger would go really, really good and really accentuate that coriander and that spice box flavor. And then ceviche is another thing that I see, like a heavy citrus white fish. There's a little bit of citrus in here. You might pick up, other than the orange peel, you might pick up a little lemon or something like that. But adding and accentuating that citrus and giving that component from some multiple different citrus fruits is something that just pairs really, really well with a wit beer, especially one that is made so well as this one. Another thing about a good white ale is you should have a nice pillowy mouthfeel. And you definitely have that here. I think people forget, mouthfeel is part of the experience. You want, crispness from a Pilsner. You want a full-bodied, rich mouthfeel, silky mouthfeel from a stout. But this really does tick all the boxes. I mean, there's a reason why they won so many awards. If you go to their website, I think they list like 47 international medals. On the six-pack right here, it says they've won over 400 international awards. They've been around since 1992. This beer was invented or created, I should say, in 1992. So it's been around for a long time. It definitely fits the bill for an old favorite beer. But to be around that's still a lot of medals and a lot of awards to win. It shows that consistently, as they are putting this beer out there with beer judges that are certified, that understand these brands, they continuously go back to a beer of this high quality. And the fact that this is a beer that you can get in relatively easy access in the places that it is distributed is just criminal that I don't see this in more places. So this is one of those things I love about talking about these beers for Old Favorite Friday, because these beers are underappreciated because they are so widely available. People fall back on brand new things because they want to try something new. Or maybe you're the kind of person that just drinks your, you like white ales, but you just drink your Blue Moon. No, don't do that. If you're watching this video and you pull out and you go to a Blue Moon on a regular basis, or I haven't seen Shock Top in forever, but if that's still around, get this. You're going to enjoy that so much more. It's so much more authentic. It's just a better version of a classic style beer, brewed with a history and tradition to it that really respects where these beers come from and hopefully where these great beer is going. Well, thank you guys very much. We always appreciate suggestions for beers that we can do for Old Favorite Friday. So keep those rolling in. Please like and subscribe, hit the bell for notifications so you can get more of these videos in your inbox here on YouTube. And anytime if you like this beer as much as I do and you want to engage with us and tell us and give us a thumbs up, or maybe say, oh, I had that beer, I didn't like it. I highly doubt that's going to happen with a beer like this, but maybe that happens. We'd love to hear your thoughts and have you guys engage with us. We really appreciate it. We'll see you next week. Cheers.